This is my abandoned BMW 340i M Sport, a car we rescued from being abandoned behind someone's house for the last 2 years. Why did we take a risk? Well, it cost us $8,000 compared to the typical $25,000 to $30,000 it would cost in 100% working condition. It was in a front end accident, and when it arrived from Copart, the previous owner gave up on the build when he found out there was transmission issues. All right, let's see what happens when we try to put it into gear. Nothing. Nothing at all. It's been stuck at 80,001 miles for 2 years. We took it off his hands and quickly found out an ugly truth. The previous owner lied to us about the description of the car, claiming he never changed out the transmission, but after getting in contact with the shop, we quickly found out that was a lie.
So we passed that on to him. He went and bought himself a used trans, put it in the car.
Wait, did I just hear that right?
A used trans, put it in the car.
The car has a new transmission, it was coded correctly, and well, it still doesn't drive. So now we are here with the 340i on jack stands and so many more questions. Now, I kept talking to the programmer after the last video and he did say something very strange. The tuning software or the coding section of it looked like an AHP70Z, which is a different transmission than the 8HP50Z. That's what comes in this car. And we did look at the plaque, and what's in this car is the 50Z. So did they put in a different mechatronics unit? Is the fix gonna be a new trans or a new mechatronics? I know, it's a lot, but this might have turned into my nightmare. Welcome, my name is Danny. Let's get started. As of now, the plan is to drop the transmission and put another one in. That'll give us a clean slate to work with. Hopefully, I'm praying that fixes the issue with a BMW mechatronics unit and whatnot. And obviously with a clean slate, if it doesn't, we'll know the problem isn't the transmission, because 3 transmissions or 3 mechatronics units cannot be bad. I've never done this before on newer BMWs, so it's gonna be very interesting. But if I can turn this into a driving 340i for $8,000, this will all be worth it. And to quickly rule out all the speculations, no, the issue is not that the doors are open or the hood is open when attempting to get the car into gear. And obviously we removed the manual neutral lever under the car and it still doesn't work. Oh, the transmission does have fluid, and rather new fluid. As you can see, this thing has never been driven. Would have been the perfect solution, but unfortunately life's never really that easy. But since we already drained the fluid, why not, before removing the transmission, checking out the mechatronics and just visually seeing that everything is correctly and how it should be. And here we have the whole mechatronics unit. Unfortunately, looking very nice. All these are the solenoids and made in Germany, so it doesn't seem like it's an aftermarket one or like a cheap Amazon one. Let's start disconnecting everything that needs to come off to take out a transmission from the car. Hi baby, are you excited? Moments like this, I definitely wish we were on a lift, that's for sure. Having a nice shop and a lift is definitely something we look forward to, but there's just something better about doing things DIY at home, at our little shop, that makes everything so much more special. Life hack: whenever you take off a bolt, put it back to where it goes, because you're gonna lose it. And aside from the downpipe, here's why it's so loud. They chopped from here to there. W welds though, look at that. And that's why it sounds like an absolute beast. Next up, we have to disconnect the exhaust because it's gonna be in the way when we try to drop the transmission. One bolt at the very front that goes on a bracket that comes out of the transmission. Disconnect the clamp that connects it to the downpipe. And after that, we just battle the hangers and, well, hopefully we can get it off. Boom! Let's go. Whew, exhaust is off. Things are going pretty relatively smooth so far. We gotta take out this massive shield, because under here, that's where the draft shaft is. Bunch of 10mm. And by removing the shield, we can easily see the drive shaft. And unfortunately, look at these bolts. These 100% have been worked on. I'm not sure whether the previous owner lied. I was honestly gonna buy the car either way. And there is the whole drive shaft. It's actually a two-piece. And this right here is the manual neutral switch. So we gotta push this down. Then that frees up the drive shaft and we're able to rotate it. That is so painful though. Since this one is an auto, they pretty much just put a blocking plate with the manual shifter would go for the manual trans. That's interesting. But now we have to disconnect the drive shaft from the transmission. 3 18mm bolts and nuts. Don't forget, you gotta hold one side with a wrench and then the impact on the other side. And then there's 2 13mm in the middle. And after all that, it should come right off. And an easier one after that, the starter. It has to come off. It's connected to the engine and the transmission. Well, it's gonna be in the way. And when it comes on electronics, all we have to disconnect is this plug that goes right into the transmission and the ECU of the car. All you gotta do is push the tab, twist it up. That releases it and you should be able to pull it right out. Now, it's time for the bell housing bolts. Whew, things are looking good so far. And you know things are about to get a little more difficult when we had to bring the man, the myth, the legend, Roland. Almost forgot we do have to disconnect the transmission cooler lines. That's very important. We do not want to break those. And then things got a lot more interesting. Yeah, we had to make the longest extension of all time to get the bolt from the back of the transmission, and then Roland had to sneak his arm up the transmission tunnel and put the socket onto the bolt. But we were thankfully able to get them, and then we ran into the impossible bolts. Check out where that is, directly on top of the transmission. There's no way to stick a hand up there unless... Oh, if this falls midway, I'm gonna... Getting stomach cramps. Once again, these are moments where having a lift might be a good idea. And thank God I am not claustrophobic. But through a lot of pain and wiggling myself in the transmission tunnel, I was able to see the bolt that we need to get to that's right on top of the transmission. And believe it or not, I was able to put the extensions on it. Let's go. Boom. That may have looked easy, but I will have neck and back pain for the next couple weeks. For sure. So if you haven't already, I need you to hit that subscribe button and like the video and even comment when's the first time you took out a transmission and how did it go? Woo! Look at that. Here we go, Roland. Oh my gosh! We just successfully did the sketchiest thing I've ever seen in my life. Well, let's hope that this inside here is the issue.
It's all the issue.
The sketchiest part was getting this transmission out from under the car. Look at how this jack is fully extended, and these $5 jack stands are pretty much saving our lives at the moment.
Actually, those are one of those rare recalled jacks that were snapping on people. He's keeping them because they're so rare.
Transmission is out. Let's go find a new transmission for this car. If you told me when I purchased this car that transmission wouldn't be on the car, even though I thought it was a quick fix, well, I might have believed you. But all the extra work we're putting in doesn't matter at all because I just cannot stop looking at the light that's in the end of the tunnel, which is us finally driving this car on the road after 2 years. But yeah, let's go pick up a transmission, which thankfully I found on Facebook Marketplace only a couple hours away. Of course, Kevin is always sleeping at this point. I don't know why, but whenever we go on car rides, he's always sleeping. And after getting there, the seller was a serious character.
We're driving home literally 2 minutes away. We're doing like 150. Smashed into a tree, hit 2 cars, walked away, nothing happened.
But anyways, let's get this thing back home, put on the car, code the transmission to the car, and get this thing driving. Oh, we're gonna have to keep watching this video to figure out how we got to this situation exactly. But how about we take a deep breath and we modify the car for the very first time with today's sponsor, 3W, and their incredible custom floor mats. Meet the ultimate upgrade for your 340i as the interior. 3W Liners custom floor mats designed to look sharp, handle spills, and protect against wear and tear. Now, these floor mats are not your typical floor mats. These are laser measured for a precise fit. In this case, they are very, very custom to my 340i. That's still doesn't run, but we're gonna modify it. And each mat contours perfectly to every curve and corner, no gaps, no shifting. But check out just the perfect fitment of these floor mats. It's got the perfect cutout for the gas pedal. These grooves that go to the back are just perfect. Tuck this side under the trim, and just it fits so perfect. Durable material traps dirt, water, and debris, so you can keep your car's interior looking brand new. And as for the passenger side, well, it fits just as snug. And these floor mats aren't just tough, they're stylish too, with a sleek textured finish and an embossed logo. These floor mats don't just protect, they upgraded the look of your interior. Now what happens if something spills on it? Oh, whoops, whoops, whoops. Oh no, whoa, Danny, what are you doing? Your electricals are literally right there. Why would you do that? Thankfully with these floor mats, that's not really an issue. It captures all the water, all that dirt, everything. And then all you gotta do is something like that. It's already dry and ready to put back in. Massive thank you to 3W Liners for sponsoring today's video. What an amazing first mod. These are the nicest mats I've ever had. If you want to get your own, link will be in the description or on the screen. Thank you so much for sponsoring. Go check them out. This is something you really need in your car, and I'm probably gonna get it for every other car. Here we have the old transmission, and back here we have the new to us transmission that is about to go back into the car. And I'm not gonna film anything. We're literally doing what we just did in reverse order. The transmission is literally the exact same thing. The only difference that I can see is the bracket that goes to the car, or that bracket down there, is different. This one came from a BMW 340i, but it is the exact same thing. So here we go. Are we doing this for nothing, or is it actually gonna fix the issue? All we have to do is take out the bracket that's in the current transmission and pull the bracket from the old transmission in the new transmission, and we should be good to go, right? Even though the transmission looks identical and they have the same part number, after doing a little bit of research, well, this transmission does not fit in the car. It simply doesn't. And I'm heartbroken. It would be nice if they changed the part number if it's a different transmission, but hey. Clap your hands if you're an idiot. In typical Danny fashion, I don't even know how to say this. The transmission is the wrong one. It is an 8HP 51Z. Here's the thing though. Nowhere on the transmission it says 51. It's like an updated 50Z. We're stuck with two transmission and I'm buying a third one, so I'm officially a transmission dealer. Yeah, Roland just reminded me. This is a Gen 3, that is a Gen 2. So the Gen 3 is called 51Z. With that being said, I'll see you guys when I get the new transmission after this hurricane. If we make it. Even though I feel extremely beat down, we found another transmission from a 340i, which will 100% work, and if it doesn't, well, we can talk about retirement. But before we get going, let's check out just how easy it is to get to the turbo on this car. Look at that. That is the stock single turbo. You know what would look nicer than that? A single turbo right up here. But for now, we got bigger things to worry about. Now, if you told me when I first bought this car, I would have 3 transmissions, I would have looked at you with a funny face. This is ridiculous. Well, let's go ahead and put the transmission onto the stand, lift the car all the way up, and get this thing in there because we gotta get going. This thing needs to drive for my own sanity. Okay, this may look like a big headache, but check out how cool this is. These arms have the M logo on them. This literally just made everything totally worth it. What you're missing here, are these the end links? Oh, they're snapped off. Look at that. Look at that. Suspension component we need. Torque converter has to come out. And the reason we're removing the torque converter, 1, I'd rather use the one that came with the transmission, and 2, it's always a better idea to slide the torque converter into the transmission to make sure it doesn't lock up the motor like it happened to us previously. See, we gotta learn from our mistakes. Man, with how much headache this has cost, I sure hope this is going to fix the issue. But just like when we dropped the transmission, we gotta put it back up and whoop, attach it to the motor. There we go. Woo! Transmission's mocked up. Now it is time. Oh, transmission is in, and we just got a new co-worker. Hi, girl. Please grab that. We can't leave the car. Grab that one.
The yellow one.
Agita, grab it, please. Agita, grab it. Agita. Yeah, I get it. No, not. But to tighten up the torque converter to the pressure plate, we had to pry on the teeth with a pry bar to rotate the torque converter so the holes for the bolts line up where the starter was, and we can easily tighten it down. Now, this might not be the quote-unquote correct way, but we simply couldn't find the crank bolt at the front of the motor. And that is how you tighten torque converters the improper way. At least the only way I could figure it out. All right, final stretch. Here we go. Final piece that goes on the car is the exhaust, and then we get in contact with the coder. He codes the transmission to the car, and then we find out that that wasn't the issue.
Yo, how do you cheat yourself like that?
Just kidding. Well, here's the final stretch. We did everything in our part. Car's put back together. Now it's just up to the man, the myth, the legend at Remote Beamer to reset the transmission and we'll program it to the car. Because if that's not done, this transmission will never communicate with the car's computers and allow it to shift out of gear. Just like my shirt says, pray and never give up. Here we go. Tuner's on the phone or the coder. Laptop is in the car. It's time to code the transmission. And like I said, pray that everything goes great. And if it doesn't, we now have a good starting point to start figuring out what the actual issue is. But here we go. And let me tell you, this 45-minute process was an absolute pain. Just waiting around to see if all this work was for nothing or to actually fix the issue is absolutely eating me up inside. I genuinely don't know what to do other than wait and try to control my emotions as much as possible. And right out of nowhere, it is ready to test. Here we go. Here we go, y'all. Here we go. Hopefully, oh, it's gonna be a loud cold start, isn't it? All right, let me close the hood. It's insane how my nerves get when I've put so many hours and so much time and money into one moment, which is this moment right now. Whew, okay, so I was told before I even started to fully turn off traction control. That's so loud for the outside. I can't, I don't wanna touch this lever. Here we go. Wow, that's tough. That's a dagger right to where it hurts. Man. The real question is, what could possibly be the issue now? After all of that, what's left to do? Okay, here we go. Here we set the computer using a different way. Let's go for it. Nice, no cold start. Lord, please. What is going on? God, please help me. Show me what is going on. Nothing. We're gonna lower the car to rule out that the fact that it doesn't go into gears because it's in the air. Let's try this again while on the floor. Why is that a cold start though? Nothing. Oh my goodness. It's a little frustrating though, for sure. Here's the bright side. We know that it's not the transmission or the mechatronics or the ECU. Now we have to figure out what is the issue. But I always tell this to Crystal, but when you're motivated and you're excited about something, there's no way possible that you're gonna give up or stop. So let's figure this out. And this is a great time to break the news to the one person that went through everything with me, Roland. Yo, what's up? What's up? Yo, I got some really good news.
What's up?
It still doesn't go into gear.
Wait, what? Are you f***ing joking?
I'm not.
What do you mean? What the guy say?
He's doing other resets on the transmission right now, but as of now, he reset the whole thing and it's still not working.
Why would it not?
That time, actually my favorite time of these videos, and that is when we put up 15 new countries. Up there we already have 30 countries, and yes, these are all countries you guys have commented you're from. These are not random or anything, but today we have 15 more beautiful countries to put up, and I'm thinking it's time to get to this side. And if you're new here or you just don't know why we're putting up flags on the wall, well, every single video, I put flags on the wall to represent where you guys are from. It just goes to show that we're just one massive family on this channel. And I absolutely love doing this, so let's keep it up. Aside from that, I've actually learned so much about new countries that I've never even heard about. So this is personally a really cool thing because I'm learning so much. We sometimes just focus on where we're from in our little bubble. We don't realize just how massive and how big planet Earth really is. And well, here are the 15 new flags. Thank you all from around the world for all your support. Love y'all. Let's bring the spirits up and keep troubleshooting. Starting with taking out the Carly app. This gives us so many codes in a very simplified way. And hopefully it shows me something that could lead us the right way. We noticed we were getting gear selector codes. But unfortunately, after clearing the codes, waiting a little bit, starting the car back up, and after trying to put the car back into gear again, well, the codes never came back. So that's not the issue. Okay, cleared everything. Turn the car off. As you can tell, I'm extremely frustrated. Oh, check this out. So from 103 issues to only 35. So the only issues that came back up regarding the transmission and the gear selector was a 3 transmission fault. Actual wheel speed, EWS manipulation attempt, and driver's wish P exit was prevented by EWS. Wait. Now we're getting somewhere. The EWS, also known as the FEM for these newer cars, it's sort of the security of the car. If that's bad, the car won't start. But if it's also not coded correctly, it could possibly not allow the car to get out of park like it's telling us. But as we're seeing there, and as the coder told me, we also do need a wheel speed sensor. And I have run in some instances where wheel speed sensors don't allow the car to get into gear. So we need one of those. But before we do that, I decided to check every single fuse that's on this car, along with the fuses on the FEM module, which is this whole module on the passenger side leg rest. And well, everything checked out perfectly. So let's move on to the wheel speed sensor. And going out for the drive in the 911 definitely brought up the spirits and just felt really good to go pick up parts in this car. It's my daily driver, and well, as you guys have seen throughout these videos, the parts getter. But that was quickly shut down when BMW said the wheel speed sensor cost $293.
Daddy, chill.
He did print out all the models that it would work out of, but wow, $300 for a wheel speed sensor? That's insane. Oh, maybe I should just take it out of that car. What if I just jack off this BMW, take off the sensor, and I'll bring it back? I mean, it's not stealing if I bring it back, right? Okay, things are looking better than they were 30 minutes ago when I found out a sensor cost $300. So the shop that worked on this car actually was able to get me a sensor for $150. They're only 30 minutes away, so we're going. Let's go. And after getting there and talking to the owner, thankfully all the diagnostic receipts were still in the system, so I was able to get a good look at everything, brainstorm with him to see what the issue may be, and well, we came to a conclusion where nothing makes any sense. If the FEM was bad, well, the car wouldn't start, and if the transmission was already coded, should not be preventing the car to get out of gear. Nothing makes sense. But at least we got a wheel speed sensor for half the price of BMW, right? That's the good news right there. But we come to a conclusion that the car's on a full-on lockdown and it just doesn't want us to shift out of park. Let's go put this when we get home. It's not gonna fix the issue, but we already bought it. Even though we need the wheel speed sensor, changing it out knowing it's not gonna fix the issue really didn't feel very fulfilling or exciting at all. But thankfully, Remote Beamer that's been coding the transmission just thought of an idea. And it's honestly my last hope. Here's the new game plan. We're gonna get the ECU from the transmission, get it shipped to him, and he's going to code it on the bench. There has been cases where coding on a bench is way better than coding remotely. Thankfully, he's only 4 hours away, so we should get it back very, very soon. But while we wait, here's my idea. Instead of taking the mechatronics out of this transmission, why not take the TCU from the other transmission, ship it out so I can still be diagnosing the car while it's getting coded? I guess it's not such a bad thing having 3 transmissions laying around. Okay, so this is the actual ECU what controls the mechatronics. As you can see, it's attached to the back of the mechatronics. And this is what we have to ship out. Imagine how much you would pay a shop to do something like this. Look at that. Boom. One more bolt and it's out. And with that being said, ECU is out of the transmission. Look at that. So cool. And yes, even though it might look like we're doing 30,000 things and nothing's working so far, we just have to remember we only have to be right once and then we figured out the issues. We're gonna try everything possible. So while this is shipped out and getting coded, we're gonna keep working over here. Perfect. We're gonna ship this out and we're gonna keep diagnosing the car. But there's one big issue. I don't have a laptop because Crystal's in school. So we met up with some random person and picked up the cheapest laptop I could possibly find for $100. 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigabytes SSD. We should be good. So now we have our own BMW laptop, or well, diagnostics laptop. And along with that, we're downloading ISTA, the official diagnostics tool that BMW dealerships use. And what's really cool about this is that the dealership actually uses this program to know how to repair and diagnose issues with the BMW. Let's say you want to replace the radial shaft seal for torque converter. Look at this. It literally shows everything, exactly what you need to do, how to do it, everything. This is just... But enough with the program. Let's figure out what is going on with this car. One thing we haven't fully checked off the list is the gear selector, because even if the codes didn't come back, why did we get those codes in the first place? But unfortunately, we tested all the functions for the gear selector and well, everything checked off. The car's getting all the signals from it and well, there's nothing wrong with the gear selector. On this page, we can see all the computers for the car. Green means they're 100% good, yellow means something's wrong, red means they're non-existent. And as we can see, transmission and driving stability control are both yellow, so there's something going on.
Please disconnect.
What is going on?
Are you a customer and in need of roadside assistance?
No, hang up. This car's going crazy right now. And after clicking on the faults, we're still having a wheel speed sensor code. It says it's rotating 512 times per second compared to the other ones, which aren't rotating at all. I believe we switched out the wrong wheel speed sensor. So let's fix that real quick. Thankfully, all we have to do is put the one that was on the right side over here, and we should be okay. So after clearing the faults, we now have all good wheel speed sensors. The car still doesn't go into gear. But okay, that's good. That's really good. We got something right. Aside from that though, check out how much green. Now the driving stability control ECU is 100% green, 0 faults. As well as the EGS. But the car still doesn't go into gear. Even though it's obviously still in park, the transmission thinks it's still in first gear. Here we have the transmission computer we shipped out, as you guys saw, to get coded on a bench. Now, what we're gonna do, we gotta jack up the car, take out that mechatronics with the transmission computer, put it outside, and then put these two in the transmission. And I'm praying that we have a driving 340i. Please, Lord. Here we go. What feels like the last hope for all this, but yet again, we already programmed the transmission. Was resetting it / programming it outside of the car really gonna make a difference? I really don't think so, but here goes nothing. I'm gonna try to physically cancel a cold start by like pressing on the gas pedal. That seems to help. There we go. we're going in reverse! Holy sh! It f***ing worked! It f***ing worked! Oh my goodness. There's no way that worked. Wow. What? Oh my goodness. God, thank you. There's no way. These are the happiest 3 feet of my life. It's got a backup camera. What? We have a driving 340i. I mean, we drove 3 feet, but we have a driving 340i. That was the issue. It didn't want to be reset or coded remotely. It had to be done on the bench. Whatever remote beamer did and whatever that bench looks like, I'm so thankful and I absolutely love them. But there's something weird going on with the car. Whenever I accelerate, it barely moves. Yeah, maybe let's not take it out for a test drive just yet because there's something seriously wrong going on. And after pulling out the Carly app, I found something. Outspeed sensor short circuit from the transmission. This sensor is what tells the transmission at what speed the output shaft is spinning and provides very important data, well, to the transmission control module, the TCM. And I think I know exactly what's wrong. And it was my fault. Just got under the car, checked the pins. No pins are bent. The plug looks good and nothing is oily. Sometimes those pins will get oily because I didn't put on the sleeve correctly. Well, sleeve is put on right, no pins are bent. I believe this is the output speed sensor. It's connected to the TCU directly and the location of it in the transmission, it makes a lot of sense that it is. And this one looks really nice. Well, I had to drop the pan once again because I think I really messed up. Check out the sensor that's in the car at the moment. I accidentally broke the sensor putting it into the car. And well, I didn't realize the severity of it when I put it in. Until now. So we're gonna be doing something no one should do. Snip, snip, solder, connect. I trust these connectors with my life, so I'm praying that this works and well, that we just fixed the car we broke after fixing. Oh, if this works, I'm a genius. If not, then I'm an idiot. Oh, let's go. So it looks like we did fix the issue. Oh my gosh. No transmission issues anymore. And immobilizer good, transmission good. And the only 2 codes are for checking the oil and oil measurement required. I cannot believe that worked. I guess having 2 spare transmissions isn't such a bad thing. Wait, since the code went away, does that mean we really fixed the issue? We did. Let's go. Now the car drives like a proper BMW. The fact that this car's on the road right now, wow. We're driving. There we go. It's shifting good. It's shifting good. And there's a bunch of sounds going on because literally nothing. It's like on at the bottom of the car. Everything's flopping around. Yes! Yes! Oh shoot, there's a car coming, there's a car coming. Car coming. Oh, low tire pressure, so it didn't let me accelerate. Dang it! That sounds so good though. Woo! We got pops? Got a little bit of pops. Man. Oh, we got a driving 340i. Look at that. Perfecto todo. Ese era el problema. And of course, to measure the oil level, it's really cool. It does it itself, and it keeps the RPMs up. And well, we're gonna get a perfect reading. Here we go. This will get rid of the 2 check engine lights that the car currently has. Engine level, okay, look at that. Boom. There's no way we're in the road right now. With that being said, we're ending this video on the side of the road because this car has not seen the road in about 2 years. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. We still have a lot to do, but I cannot believe we took on this project as a huge, what could have been a nightmare, and we were able to pull it off by swapping transmissions and a lot of work and electronical figuring out. This just goes to show sometimes you have to risk it all to get something you couldn't have gotten if you didn't decide to risk it. I love you guys. Sometimes when you make calculated risks, or even sometimes uncalculated risks, it could really pay off in a massive way. We have a perfectly running and driving BMW 340i for $9,200. Wait, we bought 2 transmissions. $10,700. If you need a transmission, please let me know. But this is just incredible. I mean, I've never done anything like this, and I feel so blessed that everything went our way. We had everybody's help. I could not have done this by myself. But the amazing thing is, it's just getting started. Let's go.